Eric, sometimes it's about more than just a game or a series, but sort of a way. And the way the season went with the close games, the play-in game till the fourth quarter, the first round, can you just sort of, is it possible to encapsulate the run that has delivered you to the NBA Finals?
I'll get to that. Let me first say this about Boston. I mentioned it out there to Ernie, but we tip our hat to the Celtics organization. They are first class. Pat feels a certain way about Boston, so I make sure that everybody feels a certain way about Boston. That's part of my job as the caretaker. With that said, there's great respect for them as competitors, and they are first class. You look across the way, just in terms of their ownership group, and Brad and Joe and his coaching staff, they're good people, and they're a class organization. And what happened last year, obviously was on our mind, and it drove us this year. And that's what you always hope for competition, that it can drive you to a higher level. And I think that's what you saw in this series this year, to be able to have to overcome a lot of stuff. And in terms of answering your question, look, I think probably people can relate to this team. Their life is hard. Professional sports is just kind of a reflection sometimes of life. That things don't always go your way, and the inevitable setbacks happen, and it's how you deal with that collectively. There's a lot of different ways that it can go. It can sap your spirit. It can take a team down for whatever reason. With this group, it's steeled us and made us closer, made us tougher, and these are lessons that hopefully we can pass along to our children. That you can develop this fortitude, and sometimes you have to suffer, for the things that you want. And Game 6, the only thing that we could do is sometimes you have to laugh at the things that make you cry. We did so many things right. I think from a metric standpoint, we did everything the best that we did all of the playoffs. Our defensive activity numbers, rotations, the extra efforts, the pursuits on the offensive glass, 5 turnovers. We felt like we did all the right things. We had our, season high numbers of attacks, and then to come up short, that could puncture a team spirit. But instead, that just drove us to more resolve to try to get the job done. I definitely noticed it after the Atlanta game, the next day in the film session, how badly this team wanted to keep this season going. And then I felt the exact same way yesterday when we met after our flight. Everybody got to get everything out of their system from the night before, and then we just focused on rallying around each other and focusing on the next task. And we have some incredible competitors in that locker room. They love the challenge. They love putting themselves out there in front of everybody, open to criticism, open to everything, but to compete for it. And that's a beautiful thing. We know we have more work to do, but damn, is this hard. It is hard. It's hard business, and it's hard to survive 3 rounds just to get to that final round. We're extremely grateful for that. We're not even going to think about this next round until we get to Denver. And I wanted everybody to acknowledge just how difficult it is, and to enjoy this moment. It's the longer you're around in this business, you realize the harder and harder it is to do something like this. It's a special group. So we'll definitely take this, and it's poetic justice, to be able to get it on this court, tough environment. We'll celebrate a little bit tonight on that plane to Denver, and then we'll get on to that next challenge.
Caleb came very, very close to winning the conference finals MVP, just a couple of votes. Just to put it simply, what did he mean, and especially his offense, mean to you in the series?
It's been amazing. If you're a real competitor and it's in your soul, and that's what Caleb is, He's a competitor. Every bit the competitor that, you talk about with Jimmy or Bam or, whatever. Caleb is a competitor. You get to the higher stakes, the further you get along, the more competitors are going to reveal themselves. Game sevens or get to the conference finals, it's not for everybody in this association. Otherwise, more players, more teams would do it. You have to be wired a little bit differently. And Caleb he's pure. He competes on both ends, lays it all out there for everybody to see. He's accepted different roles, but we needed him to be more of a player. With Tyler and Vic out, we've needed more offense. Quite frankly, we've needed more guys like Gabe and Caleb to show how much they've improved with their player development. But he has so much respect in that locker room, just because how hard he competes. It's like his last breath on every single possession, and I love the guy for that.
Spo, you obviously have a roster full of competitors, but specific to Jimmy, we see what he does on the floor, but off the floor, how would you describe the belief he's instilled within the rest of the group?
You have to have, a guy that you can hold on to, particularly in those moments of truth. And I've said this before, there's no way to quantify the confidence that he can instill in everybody. And, Jimmy's never had to apologize. I don't want him to ever apologize for who he is and how he approaches competition. It's intense. It's not for everybody, and we're not for everybody. That's why we think it's like an incredible marriage. We never judge him on that. He doesn't judge us for how crazy we get. It's the same language, but the confidence level that he can create for everybody on the roster is incredible. I've almost never seen anything like it, but I have. But he's special, because he does it on both ends of the court. He can play 48 if you need him to. And then he just has a way also that, he has a hard edge, and he's gnarly, but he knows how to have a soft touch just to give somebody some confidence at the right times. That's a special gift that he has.
In the moments after Game 6, how did you consider how to play it to your team, how to present what needed to happen to your team? I
didn't. Those are probably just raw emotions. I think when you have such an intimate relationship with a locker room, and they have it with each other, the staff has it with them, they have it with the staff. Sometimes, it's just whatever's raw, whatever's real at that time. It wasn't scripted, and it's not even the reason why. Like, we have a bunch of guys that just love competition. Just drop us off anywhere and compete for it. Like, put ourselves out there, open to all the criticism and everything. But hey, it's got to happen between these four lines. We don't care what the rest of the world is saying. We don't care who's criticizing who. You got to line up in between these four lines, and let's figure this out. And I think that's the nature of this team that I think, a lot of people respect. Because we have had our fair share of setbacks and disappointments, frustration, but we just keep on picking ourselves up and getting on to the next fight.
I know it's not all about scheme, but you guys were able to sprinkle in zone a good amount tonight. How important has just that defensive versatility and versatility in general for this team been along this path? Yeah,
I think the versatility. Come on, Mr. Butler. Come on. The versatility and toughness and guys like this that drive it, If your best players aren't defenders, it's hard to create a good defense. We have Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. They care about defending and doing the tough things. It's pretty easy to figure out the rest of the stuff. And schematics are not it. It's committing to doing tough things. All right, appreciate y'all.
A year ago to the day, we were sitting in a conference room in Miami, and I asked you what you thought you guys needed to get over the threshold. And you said, in part, you knew you could get it done. Why was that belief in that moment so strong, and what does it feel like to be right?
I just know why Coach Pat and Coach Spo wanted me to be here, and that's to compete at a high level and to win championships. I know that the group that they put around me at all times is going to give me an opportunity to do so. So I was always very, very confident in that. I work extremely hard with the team, with Brickley. I can score on Remy all day, every day, as I've posted on Instagram. So I'm just confident. I know the work that we all put into it, so I know what we're capable of. But nobody's satisfied. We haven't done anything. We don't play just to win the Eastern Conference. We play to win the whole thing.
Have you been taken aback by some of the shots that Caleb Martin has made? We know he obviously is a tough competitor and has come a long way, but some of the shots he was hitting tonight and maybe even earlier in the series, did any of them surprise you at all?
No, that might have surprised you all to the untrained eye. He just looks like he's an undrafted guy who's been in the G League, who's started in, Charlotte, and now he's here, started on a two-way contract. To y'all, that's what it looks like. To us, he's a hell of a player, a hell of a defender, playmaker, shot maker, all of the above. Everybody's seen Caleb work on those shots day in and day out, so it doesn't surprise us. We've seen it every single day, and I'm so proud and happy for him. And he's going to be even better in this next round, and I don't think it's going to be a surprise to anybody else any longer.
Jimmy, Spo was just talking about Caleb saying that he has the respect of you guys being a competitor. How has he earned that, aside from what he's done on the floor for you all?
I mean, I think that everybody sees what he's doing in the games, but the real work is done when he's in the gym by himself with his trainer, all the countless amounts of reps to prepare him for this moment. He doesn't shy away from it. So many guys on our roster, they never shy away from the big moment. We love them for that. We want them to continue to be that. And he's been huge for us. He really has been. He's kept us in the game. He's won us some games on both sides of the floor. I mean, if he ain't showed y'all now, he's going to be in this league for a long time.
Caleb is part of this, but this is the third game in this series where you guys shot 50% from three. What can you say about, obviously you made some threes too, but the other guys on the team stepping up and just with incredible shot making throughout the series?
Yeah, you want some freak boy stuff over there, man. We just, we stay with it. We stay the course, shoot the open shots, stay confident. Even when they're not going in, you got to take them. You got to take the right ones. Every one that everybody takes, everybody thinks it's going in. And then if you get that same shot, the next possession down, you got to take it again because we all think it's going in. Everybody's confidence is so high. We got to believe that we can do something incredibly special. So we're going to hit the ground running when we get to Denver, and I like our chances.
Jimmy, I want to ask about something that's been talked about with the Heat for literally decades. But you guys came in as an 8 seed, and you survived losing 3 in a row and all the history that was coming down at you. How does that apply to Heat culture, what you've been able to accomplish this particular spring?
I'm not going to say losing 3 in a row is part of the Heat culture that we like to talk about because we don't play to lose. We don't want to lose. They're an incredible team over there, and they will be for a while. I just think, the guys that Coach Spo and Coach Pat put together, when a guy goes down, the next guy could fill in that gap and do exactly what that guy that went down did. And do it at a high level. And then, be humble enough to know that when that guy comes back, you got to take a step back and get back in your role. And nobody ever complains. They always do exactly what you ask of them to do, which is why you want to play with guys like that, which is why they're the reason that we win so many games. I don't call them role players. I call them teammates because your role can change any given day, especially with how many games I've missed and, in and out of lineup, off nights, whatever you call it. But we got some hoopers. We got some real deal basketball players that can score, can defend, can pass, and can win games for us.
In order to win a title, and in the next round, you're going to have to get everybody to raise their game up, especially on the defensive end. But specific to Jokic, what do you think the key will be to slowing him down in this series?
I don't know. I got 2 days to figure that out. We have 2 days to figure that out before game 1. Oh, my God. Y'all saw that? Goddamn bumblebee. So we will lock in on them. But, I think we get to enjoy this till midnight, which is right around the corner. And then it's time to lock in on the Nuggets. So I'll be able to answer that for you when I talk to you on, Wednesday, I think.
Bam, if there was one constant this season, it probably was never losing faith, even when there were a lot of moments when it might have been easy to lose that faith. What's it like from up 3-0 to 3-3 to come into a game like this and to wind up back in the NBA Finals?
We never thought it'd be easy. Going through these playoffs, going through this season, up and down, good, bad, through the adversity, still, nobody let go of the rope. So, biggest thing for us, man, I'm happy my teammates played the way they did. Caleb definitely made a name for himself, and obviously Jimmy is being Jimmy. So, the biggest thing for us is just keep going.
You mentioned Caleb, but he came just a couple votes away from winning the MVP trophy tonight. What did he mean throughout the series for you guys, especially on the offensive end, where he seemed to have a shot or a drive or a three for every Boston push?
He's, like I said, man, a lot of people don't see the work that Caleb put in. Y'all see it now because he's playing out of his mind. But, after that Game 7 loss, it's not my mom. It's not my mom. It's not my mom. After that Game 7 loss, I feel like he made it a necessary effort to really come back and be like, I'm going to be a reason why we win a series or be a reason why we win big games. And he showed that throughout this whole series, and I'm truly proud of him. One, he's from North Carolina, so just representing North Carolina is a good thing for us. But also, man, he gets the opportunity to, one, win a Eastern Conference championship, and two, he gets to play in his first finals.
Pam, I got a couple for you. First off, why was that belief after Game 6 and the way it ended so strong internally?
Going into this series, we thought we was going to Game 7 anyway. But, things work out different. Stuff happens, and then we end up in the Game 7. So, everybody thought it was going to happen. Biggest thing for us, I feel like we never quit just because that's who we are. Everybody has a story, a background of, going through certain situations, certain ups and downs in their lives, and still pushing through and getting the opportunity. And you look at our roster, and there's a lot of guys on our roster that's pushed through to make themselves have a great opportunity.
And looking ahead, obviously, it's going to take everybody lifting up their own games. But what, in your mind, is the key to slowing down Jokic?
Making them take tough shots, and biggest thing for us is try to limit, his assists. It sounds easier said than done, but biggest thing for us is watching film and figuring that out.
Bam, what is your favorite trait about this team, this year's team? What do you like most about it?
Favorite trait? It's that underdog mentality, man. I know we say it. I know people think it's a joke, but when you go through what we went through this whole season, ups and downs, people talking good and bad about us, writing us off, hearing all that noise and to be 4 games away from a championship, it just speaks volume to, 1, we never quit, and 2, everybody rallied together.
Bam, you guys win 3 out of the 4 games in this building. What was it about playing on the road that seemed to bring the best out of you guys in this series?
We've been the A seed all playoffs, so you have to will wins in other buildings, and the biggest thing for us, we always stay together when it matters most, and just being together, being in those moments where back's against the wall and everybody's going against you, I feel like that's when it brings out the best in us.
Is it extra sweeter this way to be able to accomplish it on the road in the building, especially what happened after last season too?
Yeah. I wish we didn't go to a Game 7, but, that's the way the script was written. So the biggest thing for us, man, we took an opportunity and really cherished it and pushed through and made our way. Black Lives Matter, people.
Caleb, you guys have said all year that you guys do things the hard way. Nothing's been easy for this team. For you guys to bounce back from what happened in Game 6 to win this one and make it to the NBA Finals, what does this say about just the collective resolve of this group?
I think it just sheds a lot of light on, how resilient our group is, how mentally engaged that we are, no matter, and how positive we are mentally, no matter how the season's been going. And we've been, like I said, we've been talking about how the regular season's been preparing us for these moments, and I just think that's it comes full circle.
Caleb, you've made mention over the past couple of years multiple times to the way you played in college. What was it about this series that, we've seen glimpses of it, but it finally feels like you tapped into that version of yourself?
It just, it feels good. I feel like, that type of style never leaves you. I feel like, I knew it was going to come out at some point. It's just, it's just a great feeling that it came out during a Game 7 on the road like this. But it just shows you that, what I'm capable of, and I just want to continue to stay locked in. And, I knew how they were going to guard me through this series, and I just want to take advantage of that.
Hey, Caleb, a lot of your teammates have mentioned the work that you've put in behind the scenes, off the court, in the weight room, those things. Where does that part of your competitive edge come from?
It gets me better, man. It's a ton of credit to the organization and get me ready for these moments. And I do a lot of prep with my coaches and my trainer, and to get me ready for these moments. And like I said, it's super high level competition, man. You can't hide it, and you figure out if you're built for these type of environments or you're not whenever you get into them. And I just feel like I've just been continuously prepping and getting ready for these moments, and when these moments come, I'm ready for them. So I feel like I'm built for these type of moments, and I'm just going to continue to try to get better and feed off guys like Jimmy and Bam, and they lead the way, and we're just trying to follow. So,
Caleb, in a moment like this, with going to the finals and playing as well as you did, do you reflect at all on your personal journey from the undrafted, the G League stuff, and then to even this year, like you took the place of PJ,
yeah.
which is another big thing. So what are your reflections in this moment?
Kind of a little bit of everything. You reflect on, I definitely reflect on where I started and the journey it's taken to get here, and even as early as the two-way last year. But I think more than anything, it's kind of a weird feeling because I'm also understanding that as happy as I am, as grateful I am to be here, I also understand that like we have 4 more, like the job's not done. We didn't go through all we went through all regular season, and my personal journey to stop here. So we're trying to get what we came here to get. So we got 4 more.
Caleb, hopefully this isn't too redundant, but 365 days ago, you did not play a minute in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. So within that span, especially last summer, what changed within you? What did you do to, build up build back up your confidence in yourself and be prepared for a moment like this?
I think as soon as we got done with the New York series, I felt like I instantly got, I felt kind of disrespected just off how I got guarded last year, and I definitely just wanted to take I guess it was like a sense of pride, or I think a sense of just understanding how they were gonna guard me, and they were gonna make me have to earn their respect, which I totally understand, and I just kind of wanted to make come in knowing I had to leave my mark on this series and understand I was going to be the guy that had to prove himself in order to contribute and change their schemes or whatever it is. So I just wanted to make sure I came in and to contribute any way I could to make sure that I was being able to move the needle to get to the finals.
Caleb, what was the mood with the team like yesterday when you guys got together, picking yourselves up after Game 6?
I think that we were. I think we were positive. I think it was a good sign for me. For me, at least for me personally, just kind of seeing the mood and just the headspace guys were in after that game. I truly think that we believe that we were going to come here and get a win. And like we said, we're the AC coming in on the road, and everybody's counting us out. And I think that's kind of when we work our best, is with our back against the walls. That's kind of been the story of everybody individually, and even as an organization. So I feel like you just kind of put us, right where we've always felt like we've been, and I felt like we're very comfortable in that type of environment.
Anybody else?
Yeah, appreciate y'all.